They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So then you said that they put millions of my people. Yes, you said, Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. Main fact of them here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Just dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mass shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Hey, Shalom, Israel. You live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, preaching Captain Soccer War, holding down the class. Man, I'm down here in Memphis, Tennessee. Right now, we're in the midst of a winter storm. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of y'all, if you're in the States, you're aware of the inclement weather that we're getting. But I was looking at the news, man, and seeing the reports coming out about another shooting that then took place in Minnesota at the hands of ICE agents. And I'm going to play the video of the incident that occurred, and I'm going to play the press conference that's featuring the governor of Minnesota, well, not the governor, the mayor of Minnesota, and I believe the head of the police chief, the police department out there. But it's important, man, brothers and sisters, to understand that everything that is taking place up there in Minnesota right now is a part of, biblical prophecy being fulfilled concerning the traps that our oppressor tries to set for us, ending up catching them in the snare. Make no mistake, this whole ICE police force that's been, enacted and empowered by Donald Trump was designed to cause an uproar amongst blacks and Hispanics in this country, to give the United States government a precedent, get to create a situation where there would be an incident or an event that would give the U.S. government free reign to completely abuse and do more evil to God's people in His land. And the Bible talks about the wicked when they set a trap. And the Lord is with the righteous, that the wicked gets caught in that trap. And that's exactly what's taking place right now. You know what I'm saying? Studying, you can look back in history, everything that Donald Trump and this administration has done with ICE, and all of the powers that these federal agents have now, very, very, it's a carbon copy of what took place in Germany in the 1930s, when a man named Adolf Hitler was rising to power and establishing a socialist security force in Germany that became known as the SS. And the years preceding World War II, the same type of erosion of the people's rights and the civil rights that belonged to the people, the same way those rights were stripped for the people in Germany, America has been stripping those rights of the people here in America. You can go all the way back to really 9/11 with the passing of the Patriot Act. They got rid of the writ of habeas corpus and took away, really the Fourth and the Fifth Amendment, which I believe is the right to personal, not the Fifth Amendment, the Third and the Fourth, which I believe is the right to personal property and the right to your, person, meaning you couldn't just be snatched without due process. All of those civil rights have been being eroded since 9/11 with the Patriot Act and with all of the different clandestine, presidential, executive orders that's been being passed. Started with George Bush Jr. and the 2 terms that he had in office, and continued with Barack Obama, and it's being furthered by Donald Trump. Make no mistake, these people have set a trap for blacks and Hispanics to be able to show the world that we were a people that were not deserving of any, any civil rights or any peace or any humane treatment. And what's happening, rather than them getting the desired result that they wanted, which was for us to be up in arms and out in the street protesting and rioting and reacting violently against them, they are acting violently against themselves. This man that was unalived in Minnesota today, they said it was a 37-year-old Caucasian male, and they believe that he is a U.S. citizen, which means in the last 2 weeks, this is the second unaliving of a Caucasian United States citizen. You understand? Renee Good was unalived. Well, no, it was about 2 weeks ago now. Renee Good was unalived by federal agents in Minnesota, and they completely blamed it on her. Now you have 3 weeks later, another U.S. citizen, a white man in his 30s, is being unalived, and I'm curious to see how they're going to try to flip this and say, it was a similar situation to what happened with Renee Good. Because when you look at the tape, as I'm about to play it, you can see that, what you see is what you see. I don't know how they're going to try to flip it, all right? But let me go ahead and pull up the tape so we can get a look exactly at what happened, transpired here, and see exactly what's going on out there in Minnesota. Let me turn this way. Let me slide this way. Okay, boom. So let's see. Pull up the video for y'all right quick. Bear with me. And that's now. Okay, so 19 minutes ago, the governor just spoke. Pull that video up later, but I'm going to go ahead and get the video of what they showed about an hour ago. Actual unalived. All right. All right, so here's the video right here. I'm going to pull it up for y'all so you can see it. I'm going to make this big, actually. I'm going to make myself small on the screen. There we go.
Is graphic. Let me show you what we've got.
They're doing too much, man, and they keep pushing people, you know?
Now, you see the man on the ground being beat. He's being hit by the officers. They got him down. There's 1, 2, 3 standing over top of him. Watch. Oh, this one hitting him over the head. It looked like the butt of his gun. They go to first shot. 2, 3, 4, 5. More gunshots.
What you hear at the end of that appear to be gunshots. Senator Tina Smith has just posted another catastrophic shooting in Minneapolis by federal agents. We're gathering more information, but ICE must leave now so Minneapolis Police Department can secure the scene and do their job. Hennepin County.
So there you go. There's another man. Another person has been unalived in Minnesota by federal agents operating under ICE and under the authority that's been given to them by, you know, Donald Trump and the United States government to enact the what's they call it? Oh man, mind drawing a blank. Deportations. Now they're supposed to be up there in Minnesota deporting people, right? They're supposed to be going after so-called illegals from south of the border. So this is a direct assault on Hispanic and Latinos, so-called Latinos in that city. Now, why would they deploy them to Minnesota? Let's not forget that just a couple years ago, Minnesota is the city where George Floyd was unalived. Minnesota is the city where George Floyd was unalived, and in the days after the unaliving of George Floyd, there was a lot of rioting and protesting in Minnesota. So the wounds of that haven't really healed. And right off of the unaliving of George Floyd, as soon as Donald Trump gets back in the office, he goes back up there and sends ICE into that city to further terrorize these people. They are trying to goad blacks and Hispanics into a revolt. They are trying to put pressure on us to cause us to react violently so they can have an excuse to do what they always have done and always have desired to do, which is to, you know, unalive us on a mass scale. As if cocaine and crack in our communities wasn't enough, as if redlining, you know, and robbing us of funds and resources wasn't enough, if giving us the religion of Christianity and the culture of, you know, being a gangster and a whore and a drug dealer wasn't enough, if taking all of the jobs and all of the factories and shipping them overseas to these other nations so that we would be starved of economic opportunities wasn't enough, their final solution was to do what Hitler did in Germany with the Jews, which is to make a private police force that no one questions, that's not checked by the government, and you could just do anything to this people who you deem to be undesirable. And that is what the government did with ICE, and their plan was to do evil and cruelty to us by deporting our people, and knowing how compassionate and empathetic we are, and how much we having been oppressed for so long in this place, we relate to the plight and the suffering of any oppressed peoples. They thought that by doing evil to the Hispanics, it was going to cause us to rise up. But I thank the Most High for Commander General Yohana and the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. You understand? Commander General Yohana been prophesying that the Lord was going to put a spirit on us to come together to fall away from serving our oppressor, to fall away from putting our hopes and our trust in America. And what you're seeing right now, the reason why blacks, Hispanics are not out there in the street protesting, the reason why we're not out there fighting against ICE is because we realize that America is not the place of our rest. We realize that America is not the place where we could expect to be treated justly and fairly. And we know that it's in vain for us to march and protest and beg them to be anything different than what they've always been. The white man does not understand that his cruelty has reached a level to where the people aren't even fighting against it no more. That's their business. That's their government. You understand? Those were their civil rights. What's happening with ICE really has been happening in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community for the last 70 years. This isn't nothing new. The reason why it's new is because it's on the news and and white people are getting caught up in it. You understand? Before Renee Good got unalived in Minnesota, wasn't nobody really caring about what was happening to those Hispanics. Yeah, the mayors and the city officials was making a deal of it. Governors was coming out saying something, but there wasn't any laws being passed in Congress. There wasn't any measures being taken to change anything that was happening. And everybody knows the history. Everybody knows exactly what's going on in the country. They know what the purpose is, what the goal is. We know what happened in Germany with Hitler in the 1930s. Everybody knows the end result is to get blacks and Hispanics out of this country, is to lock us up with more mass incarceration, is to further, reduce our imprint on this country. All the things they're doing, trying to erase our history, erase the history of slavery. All of that is them trying to reestablish their dominance in this nation. And the powers that be, those who are in positions to maybe, change something or do something about it, they letting it happen. Thanks be to the Most High that this trap that they have set, they are falling into it on their own. These people that's, U.S. citizens as being unalived, they are not the target demographic of the ICE enforcement in Minnesota. They went up there and thought that they was going to wreak havoc on the Lord's people, and the Lord is returning it on their own head. Let's go ahead and get this second press conference. This is a press conference with the mayor of Minnesota speaking about the shooting that took place. All right.
My name is Brian O'Hara, BRIANO''HARA. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. At approximately 9:03 a.m. this morning, Minneapolis police received a report of a shooting involving federal law enforcement in the area of East 26th Street and Nicollet Avenue on the south side of the city. Officers arrived and found an adult male with multiple gunshot wounds when they arrived. Life-saving aid was being rendered, and he was transported by ambulance to Hennepin County Medical Center, where he was later pronounced deceased. Based on the information that we have, which is very limited, this is a 37-year-old white male who is a Minneapolis resident, and we believe he is an American citizen. We have not been told any official reports of what has led up to the shooting, but we have seen the video that is circulating on social media. Our demand today is for those federal agencies that are operating in our city to do so with the same discipline, humanity, and integrity that effective law enforcement in this country demands. We urge everyone to remain peaceful. We recognize that there is a lot of anger and a lot of questions around what has happened, but we need people to remain peaceful. In the area, we have an unlawful assembly at this time. Minneapolis police have given multiple warnings for the crowd to disperse. We are asking for people to avoid the area and to leave if you are there. We have requested mutual aid.
So there you go. Again, 37-year-old Caucasian male, unalived by ICE in Minnesota. And the crowd that's gathering, they asking for the crowd to disperse, asking for the crowd to not agitate the police any further. Now, who's rioting and protesting for the unaliving of a 37-year-old white male? Surely it's not us. That business does not concern Black and Hispanic people. That's not our fight. That's not our disagreement. And there's a very staunch difference in the reaction that we have to oppression than what our oppressors have to oppression. You go back and you look in history, the American Revolution, You understand? The French Revolution, the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. When you push Caucasians too far and you try to erode their rights to an extent, when they fight back, when they respond to it, it's not with marching and with peaceful protesting. And so now Minnesota is nigh into a war zone. Them folks are gonna be you go look at some of the footage right now. They throwing bottles and shooting stuff at the police. The police got to shooting the damn tear gas. They might call in the military. Black people, this is not our fight. This is not the way that we're going to receive liberation. The revolution that's on the horizon is not our revolution. And it's important that we understand that when white people have business to address with one another, we should get out of the way and let them address their business. If you don't know what to do or you unsure about how to proceed in these times, get in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under command of General Yohana. Start to lock into these classes, man, and soak up some of this wisdom and this knowledge that is being given to us in these times by the Most High through his priests and his prophets. Because it is the only way that we're going to be able to sustain ourselves. If you think you're going to join in the white man's revolution, then you're going to suffer the consequences that we suffered joining in their American Revolution, joining in their Civil War, joining in World War I and World War II, and going to Vietnam. Nothing has ever profited us getting in the midst of our oppressors' business. I'm going to get you a scripture. Let's get Psalms chapter 9 and verse 15. When we are witnessing this biblical prophecy coming to pass, the Lord talked about the wicked and the things that would happen to them when the Lord is on the side of the righteous. This is Psalms chapter 9, verse 15. It says, the heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made. The heathen made a pit. Why? To trap somebody, to get somebody hemmed up, to capture a prey. And guess what? They fell into the pit that they made. This unaliving of a 37-year-old white male in Minnesota by ICE is the heathen falling into a pit that they made. The unaliving of Renee Good in Minnesota 3 weeks ago is the heathen falling into a pit that they made. These are innocent people. Didn't do anything wrong. But because of the bloodlust of their government, they are casualties of a war that is only being waged on one side. Reading on. It says, in the net which they hid is their own foot taken. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executes. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. You understand? They thought that when they riled up ICE and they started capturing brothers and sending Venezuelans down there to El Salvador and harassing brothers and sisters at Home Depot, they just knew it was going to be riots in the streets. They wanted to show the world that these are violent people, that are savages, and all the horrible things that they have been saying about us in the media. And the reality is, man, we're the hardest working, most caring, compassionate people who just try to find a way in this world. Acknowledging and recognizing that this is not our empire. This is not our kingdom. Acknowledging and recognizing that, hey, y'all government, y'all rules, whatever y'all need us to do so that we can operate as law-abiding citizens, we'll do it. And it's never been enough. It's never been enough. And their final solution when Donald Trump got back in office was to create a situation and a circumstance where they would have reason to commit genocide against us on the world stage. And that's why that genocide, I mean, that is why that bloodshed that they purpose for us is falling back on them. Renee Good was the first one. This man that was unalived today was the second one. And again, when Caucasian people are pushed to the brink, when they revolt or when they fight back against their government, it's not with marching and protesting and singing, we shall overcome. These are violent people, and they live by violent means. And that is what you're going to see take place in this country in a very, very short time. Let's keep reading in Psalms, the 9th chapter. Now we at verse 17. The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God. For the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectation of the poor shall not perish forever. Arise, O Lord, let not man prevail. Let the heathen be judged in thy sight. And that's what we're witnessing taking place. You know, I just want to do this live. I know a lot of brothers and sisters around the country, a lot of people under a severe, winter storm right now. I'm down here in Memphis, Tennessee. It's snowing like crazy, but I seen what took place up there in Minnesota. I mean, they didn't even take a break for the winter storm. They up there getting it on and fighting and unalive somebody in the streets. But I've been seeing a lot of, conversations on the social media, TikTok and Instagram and Twitter spaces. A lot of black people are talking about how they're feeling gaslit. They're feeling like the media and the news is trying to usher us to act like a call to action. Like, why aren't black people getting out there and siding with the Hispanics and this and that? Don't let yourself be gaslit by these white people, man. They tried to set a trap to get us caught up, and the Lord is with us, man. The Spirit of the Most High is moving in this place in righteousness for us to learn the truth and change our lives. But even for those of us who are our brothers and sisters are still blind in the world, the Lord is moving to cause them to know to sit still. Don't move. You tune into Commander General Yohana's radio show on Monday, Commander General Yohana Live. You tune into Black Watch. There's a show that the captains in the ISUPK do on Wednesday nights where Captain Mashak is hosting. We go into these topics and discuss these current events. Commander General Yohana, they did a story last week where they showing the Black Panthers up there in Minnesota, and the whole time they say running the Black Panthers was a gang member a year ago doing rap videos. And they paying people to try to get them to come out there to pretend like black people is out there rioting and causing havoc and doing violence in the streets. No, we learned our lesson. We learned our lesson, and we know that we ain't going to get nothing from these people that they don't want us to have. But the oppressor that's in this, the people of our oppressor that's also being oppressed in this place, when they get to revolting and when they get to fighting back against their government, it is a bloody affair. And that's what we're going to witness, man. I just wanted to do this live to let y'all know what was going on, to see the story of the man being unalived up there in Minnesota. Brothers and sisters out there, man, stay locked in with the truth. If you in a city out there, you don't know how to get in contact with us, man. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohana, ISUPK.com is the website. You know what I'm saying? Find a school that's near you in your city, in your state. Get in contact with those brothers and find out what it is that you need to do so that you can avoid the hell that our oppressors trying to bring down on our people. For those of you that's in the truth and understand what's going on, man, lock in. Now is the time to sit back and watch the Most High deliver his people. But just know that it's going to get worse before it gets better. And the more dire the situation seems and the more it seems like we're on the brink, that's when you got to be drawn closer to the Most High because he's drawn closer to us. And with that, Shalom, Israel. Priest of Captain Sakawar, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge down in Memphis, Tennessee. We had classes Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Just wanted to drop this live to let y'all know what was going on out there in Minnesota. Our oppressor is being taken in their own trap. A trap they set for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians with ICE is now causing them to unalive their own, which is going to result in a much bigger catastrophe than what they ever anticipated. With that, Shalom.